Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, what I'm about to tell you is nothing short of explosive. Rumors are swirling, but sources close to the league indicate that a blockbuster trade might be on the horizon, and it involves none other than Maxx Crosby, the elite pass rusher from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, you heard that right. Maxx Crosby, a player who has established himself as one of the most disruptive forces on the defensive line, could soon be donning the burgundy and gold. Now, why would a player of Crosby's caliber be considered for a team like Washington? Well, let's break it down. The Raiders, currently sitting at 2-5 with an $8 million cap hit, are in full rebuild mode. Their defense has been leaking points like a sieve, allowing an average of 29 points per game, which is just unacceptable for a team that once prided itself on defense. Their offensive line? It's been a nightmare, allowing 32 sacks already this season. You look at those numbers, and it's clear that Vegas is in a crossroads, trying to rebuild with young talent, especially on the front seven, while trying to free up cap space to extend players like Davante Adams, who's currently costing them a hefty $25 million against the cap. Now, the interesting part here is the proposed trade. Rumors suggest that Washington could send a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027 to Las Vegas for Crosby. If this trade goes through, it could be a game-changer, not just for the Commanders but for the entire NFC East. Crosby, with his relentless pressure, has been one of the league's most consistent pass rushers, earning All-Pro honors in 2023-24 and proving time and again that he's a difference-maker. In 2025, he's already accumulated 28 pressures and 5 sacks in just 7 games, with a PFF grade of 85-2, which is outstanding. His EPA per snap stands at -0.15, and he's racked up 8 tackles for loss this season alone. Over his career, Crosby has notched 394 tackles and 63 5 sacks, with 10 forced fumbles. What makes him even more impressive is that he's been remarkably healthy, with minimal injuries, 0 in 2025. And his disruptive ability can be compared to the likes of Aaron Donald when it comes to disrupting plays and changing the course of games. Why is this such a big deal? Well, the Raiders are at a crossroads, as I mentioned. They're essentially in a rebuild, trying to reset after the Derek Carr era, and they need to prioritize picks to fix their weak offensive line, which allows an average of 4.2 yards per carry, and they need cap space to extend key players like Adams. Crosby's $20 million salary is a significant cap hit, which makes the trade citable with some reservations for Las Vegas. But for Washington, this could be a perfect storm. They are sitting at 4-3, with a defense ranked 20th in sacks, and adding a player like Crosby could elevate that pass rush to new heights. Imagine Crosby lining up across from Chase Young and Montez Sweat. That's a terrifying front for any quarterback in the league. In Quinn's scheme, Crosby's pressure projections could increase by more than 40%, and he could add an extra 2.5 sacks per game compared to what Washington has been getting now. This would give the Commanders a real boost, especially considering the loss of Wise Jr., who is out for the season. Crosby's presence would help mitigate that loss, creating more pressure on quarterbacks and forcing turnovers, which could lead to a 15% increase in EPA per rush, similar to what the Colts experienced with Buckner back in 2020 when he had 12 sacks. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture here. The potential impact of acquiring Crosby isn't just about boosting the defense. It's about positioning Washington as a real contender in the NFC. The odds of winning the Super Bowl with Crosby on the roster could jump from plus 6,500 to around plus 3,000. That's a huge leap. He's a proven game changer with 4.3 speed in the 40-yard dash, capable of breaking through offensive tackles and creating chaos in the backfield. Historically, trades for elite pass rushers like Mack in Chicago back in 2018, which boosted odds to plus 2,000, have shown that teams can quickly transform from pretenders to contenders. With Crosby, the Commanders could be looking at a top 10 NFC defense, rivaling the best in the league, and that's exactly what they need to make a real push for the playoffs and beyond. think about the long-term implications. This trade could be a pivotal moment for the franchise, reminiscent of some of the most successful rebuilds of the past. It's about bringing in a veteran presence, a leader, and a proven playmaker who can inspire the entire defense to elevate their game. Crosby's arrival would give the team a new sense of confidence, and with a strong front, the secondary would benefit immensely, creating more turnovers and setting up the offense with better field position. It's a symbiotic relationship that could redefine the identity of the Washington Commanders moving forward, transforming them into a team that's not just fighting for a playoff spot, but aiming for deep postseason runs and a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl. And speaking of the Super Bowl, let's not forget what this could mean for the franchise's aspirations. The odds of winning the title could improve significantly, making the Commanders more attractive for free agents and draft prospects in the coming years. Crosby's reputation as a relentless, high-motor player who can disrupt any offensive game plan is exactly what Washington needs to shake off its recent struggles and step into a new era of dominance. With him in the fold, the NFC East suddenly becomes a much more competitive landscape, with the Eagles still as a strong rival, but now the Commanders have the potential to challenge them more directly. The division could become a bloodbath, with Washington emerging as the team to beat if this trade materializes. Now, of course, all of this hinges on whether the trade actually happens, and there are plenty of questions to answer. Will Las Vegas be willing to part with Crosby for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth in 2027? Are the Raiders genuinely looking to rebuild, or will they hold onto their star pass rusher to try to turn things around? For Washington, the risk is worth it if it means acquiring a player of Crosby's caliber. They've shown a willingness to make bold moves under this regime, and this could be the move that cements their status as a serious playoff contender. The front office has been scouting aggressively, and with the recent struggles of their pass rush, adding Crosby could be the missing piece that turns their season around and sets them up for sustained success. In conclusion, this potential trade is more than just a blockbuster deal. It's a statement. It signals that Washington is all in on competing at the highest level and that they're willing to make bold moves to do so. Crosby, as a catalyst for change, could redefine the team's trajectory, leading them into a new era of success reminiscent of the great Redskins teams of the 90s. The league is watching, fans are excited, and the upcoming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this deal becomes a reality. If it does, we might look back and say that this was the moment that turned the tide for the Washington Commanders, propelling them from perennial underdogs to NFC contenders. So stay tuned, keep your eyes on the news, and get ready for what could be one of the most exciting chapters in franchise history. This is the kind of move that not only excites fans, but also changes the landscape of the division and the conference. And remember, I'll be here with all the updates, so don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below. The future of the Commanders might just be about to change forever. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you believe Crosby could be the piece that pushes the team over the edge? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in burgundy and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this franchise. Remember, this could be a turning point, and your voice is part of that story. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and deeper dives into everything happening around the Washington Commanders. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the faith that brighter days are ahead. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders.